It's 2:03. We'll go ahead and call our meeting to order. Let's start with Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll move on to roll call.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the sweetest symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. We appreciate you coming out, even though I know you're just here for the air conditioning. It's spicy outside. Let's go ahead and work our way through the agenda. We'll start with the roll call, please, Mr. Hyatt.
Mr. Mitchell?
Here.
Mrs. Manuelito? Mr. Schaaf?
Here.
Mr. Mortensen?
Here.
Mr. Long?
Great, so we've got a quorum, barely, and we'll go ahead and get started. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda for today's special meeting?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, and second roll call, please, Mr. Hyatt.
Mr. Mitchell?
Here, yes.
Yes. Mr. Schaaf?
Yes.
And Mr. Mortensen?
Yes. The only item of business that we have today, the purpose for us being here, is the new business approval of selection of a new logo for the Gallup McKinley County Schools. And for that, I'll turn the time over to Mr. Hyatt.
Vice President Mortensen, members of the board, we're excited today to bring an item of our new branding campaign for Gallup McKinley County Schools to you, which is specifically the logo that will replace our current logo from this time forward for our school district. Under the direction of you, we have begun the rebranding process. We've been talking about that for about a year now, but in the spring you gave us authority to move forward with this, and this is a significant piece, the logo, for our rebranding efforts. This logo, as I've given you some information, needs to be memorable. It needs to have purpose, which you have been given explanations on that also. It needs to be unique so that people can recognize it and it sticks with them and they know that it's us. It needs to be simple and it needs to be versatile, meaning we can use it in different settings and people know that it's Gallup McKinley County Schools. So I have set different information to you. I also provided for your reading pleasure after this a little bit more about branding in itself and some of the things that we'll be doing and the direction that we'll be going with our branding for the district. And that is already come into motion for the district. And you'll see some specific products outside of just the logo here in the near future, including how we're going to brand the school vehicles, to how we brand stationery, business cards, how we do advertisements in newspapers and in the media. We'll even have audio and video branding campaigns that we do also. So there's a lot that goes into rebranding. We're working with a professional company. They've been very easy and good to work with. Before I have you ask questions, I also want to make sure you understand that the company that we worked with didn't just come up with these ideas on their own. As you know, we asked for your input specifically. This company also came out, Studio Hill Design, also came out into our community, into our schools, and talked with students and staff, administrators, etc., parents, and that's how they developed and looked at the Elevate 2022 strategic plan, and with all that information combined it as they came up with not only our logo, but in the future taglines and those types of things that will go along with our branding effort. And so specifically with the logos, as you know, we have them posted here in the boardroom. We're also giving you copies to look at, and you've had other copies to look at in the past as we come to this meeting. And these two particular logos have different representation in how they were designed and how they were developed. But in all of the logos that we were able to see, there is direct involvement or direct symbolism that goes with Elevate 2022. Whether it's a feather, whether it's a butterfly, or whether it's something that shows elevation in the product, in the logo itself, and also a host of other symbolism. As you know, the butterfly / feather, what we call it, logo, the as they developed it, they kind of give an overview of how they came up with this particular design. And they said the butterfly logo is constructed of feathers of an eagle. The butterfly and the eagle are creatures of flight. The butterfly also symbolizes the transition from early childhood into a fulfilling adulthood, as well as the positive transformation of the district. The multiple colors used in the logo makes reference to the multicultural demographics that Gallup McKinley County School serves. In the book, in the feather, an institutional style logo designed incorporating feather, culture, along with the book academics. The feather symbolizes a tool required for flight, success and opportunity. The book is open, welcoming, and filled with knowledge. And surrounding these two shapes is a circle that's reminiscent of cultural direction or wheel. And so there's a native influence in both of these also. And so with that, I will accept questions, or you're welcome to discuss these two logos yourselves. And we're kind of split, all the people that we've shown these logos to, it's kind of a split decision. Everybody has their preference, but I think given the insensitivity of our current logo, and even to the extent of it being inappropriate, and our rebirth as a district and the growth that we've had as a district, as you have acknowledged, we need to move forward and rebrand ourselves, and this is the first step.
Gentlemen of the board, do you have any questions or comments? I mean, really, more than anything, I'd love to hear your comments or your opinions one way or the other before we take action on this.
Mr. Mortensen,
Yes,
I'd
sir.
like to say, I think I am leaning towards the book and feather with the book, because to me that really symbolizes a part of education. The butterfly is nice as well, but looking at it doesn't have, if someone were to just look at it, they wouldn't be able to distinguish any type of academic or anything to do with schooling. I would think. I don't know though, but I think that the book and the feather and then the medical wheel, the three combination is actually a pretty good combination.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Mr. Schaaf, do you have an opinion one way or the other about it, or any commentary?
I don't know, I like them both. The one with the butterfly with the feathers is bright, and the one that's a unique symbol. The one with the feather in the book, it's like the book's blank, and
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't know if there's any way of putting any type of little wording or I don't know, something in there maybe, or just to.
I think when companies do logos, the point is to become really simple. That's one of the requirements. And so what happens is you start getting really specific things. What happens when you get specific things becomes too detailed, almost like you've seen a lot of logos in our area that's almost like a crest. You have to have a lot in terms of everything it possibly can in there. And so it's supposed to be able, like it also in your packet talks about, it's got to be seen in black and white. Put it in there. You can do too much.
Yeah.
My personal opinion is, you look at like you do see it north.
Yeah.
That really but I understand what you're saying. Also seems blank compared to the rest of the road. So they both have their pros and cons. Like I said, there's people when they drive by, when they see us on our vehicles or our station or whatever, they need to know that this is us. And so you look at these, look at them from a distance, look at them close, envision them on paper and newspaper. What are people going to recognize and stand out to them? And then obviously our name will be with these logos, and so people will know it as a school district one way or the other. But in general, there's lots to think about.
Right.
But yeah, so the quick answer is they probably wouldn't do that graphically.
All right, Mr. Hyatt, let's hear your opinion. Which one do you like and why?
I've mentioned there's things I like about both of them. I think the design ideas behind them are both good. I don't have a problem with any of that. They definitely came from input from everybody regarding where we're at as a district and where we're going. There's things the pros for both of them for me are the feather butterfly does show a transformation. We are transforming youth as they move to adulthood. So the symbolism behind that I really like. I like that it's simple. When people see that, they will know it's very unique. The colors, I like the color, the diversity, both of them have that, the diversity for colors. The pros on the bottom one, I would agree, it shows, by the book, you can tell it's an academic logo, more so. It has the feather, which also both symbolizes in both logos flight or elevate 2022. Both have the colors. The top one's a little more softer feel, which can be a pro and a con. We're an educational institution. The bottom's a little more striking as far as bold. So that doesn't answer your question, but personally, I lean towards the top a little bit because of the uniqueness, and I don't. Both of them are far better than what we have, and so I'd be happy with either one. But when you see it, will it be memorable? Probably the top one's going to be a little bit more memorable than the bottom one because there's a lot of circular symbols or logos in our area, and so it may blend into other circular logos, not only in our area but the state. But there's a crispness to the bottom one too that's stronger, and so I do like that about the bottom one as far as it being more an educational logo.
Are these like sample colors, or is these the colors, or what are they? Just
These are
something
the
they threw
logos.
together to look at?
The colors.
Yeah, we did talk about some of the colors of the different logos they provided to us, and there were some adjustments made. But I'm not an artist like these people are, and people that design these types of things, so there's reasons they use certain colors and how they combine them. You notice there's no black, for example, or some different things because it doesn't, I guess, contrast or work artistically together as well. In my opinion, we didn't talk extensively about why these specific colors, other than the diversity component of having different colors to show the diversity. And when you look at them, they are the same colors on one or the other. There's no difference. And they are I don't want to say rustic, but they're not a bright red or bright orangish yellow or a bright blue. They're a little softer, which for me, I think, and some people I talk to, kind of a little bit more Southwest feel to it, rather than hardened, bold, bright colors. So.
All right, Mr. Hyatt, I'm going to put some of the staff on the spot. I want to hear some opinions from our 4 audience members, and just hear. I'm just curious what you have to say about it. Do we have a microphone or any takers? I'm just curious about opinions. Let's hear it.
I could tell you what their opinions are, but I'll let them do it.
We don't have that many people here, so it's not too tough to ask for opinions from the audience.
You can just come sit by me.
I'm sorry to put you on the spot. We've got a microphone here. You can come. Go ahead. There you go. Just flick it on up there on the top. Perfect. There you go.
Okay, Mr. Martinson, members of the board, and Mr. Hyatt.
You look good up here. I just want to make sure and say that for the record.
Thank you. I have the butterfly is pretty, but as far as that goes, I think to me personally, butterflies are nice to look at. It's aesthetic value. It's flighty. It's free. It's just there. If you look at butterflies out in the nature, they're not going anywhere, doing anything. They're just there. And I think that in relation to our district, we're not just hanging out. We are paving a path. We are out in the forefront. And watch out, get out of our way. We're coming through is the feeling I have for our district. So that's why I don't prefer the butterfly. And on the bottom part, I think the symbolism of the feather and the book really relate to our demographics of our students, majority of Native American students, plus we are an educational institution. So I think those two combined together are very powerful. And the colors, if we're going to use this one, if this is selected, I would recommend that the colors be in a different order. It should be on the right top hand corner should be white, blue, yellow, and black in that sequential order for the 4 colors of our directions. And then one of my colleagues, Giovanna, said that mentioned the size of the fonts are different, and I think the size of the fonts should be the same size rather than the different types of size they have there.
Can you elaborate a little more on that? What do you mean different size of fonts? Between the 2 different logos or within the logo itself?
Within the logo itself, it should be the same size fonts all the way across. All 4 words should be the same font size. The colors can be different, but it's just the size should be the same.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, Giovanna, you're next. I can see you hiding behind the tripod.
This will be interesting because she's the only person that I have not gotten an opinion from, so I'm interested to hear this. Because she wouldn't give it to me.
No, I think that I've said from the very beginning, I'm a very functional person. I'm not creative so for me, function is the biggest priority, so I'm definitely not the person you want to go to for design or creativity, but I get stuff done. But yes, Pauletta kind of gave my one criticism. I would prefer that Gallup, McKinley, and county schools be all the same type base size. That is my one of either of the logos.
Thank you. Thank you. You're up.
See, it's not going to help you. When you go through everybody, it doesn't even matter.
I know.
And your other 2 board members have differing opinions, too.
I'm just curious.
I actually agree with Pauletta. I think the bottom one I prefer just because it shows our cultural diversity as well as our purpose, which is academics. The butterfly is colorful, but I have a feeling that if I'm driving a vehicle with that on it, people are going to say, why butterfly? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else?
Ms. Freeland?
Ms. Freeland, come on up. You're always willing to give your opinion.
Good afternoon. Before we started, kind of gave some input with Mr. Hyatt. I think the move to a new logo, I appreciate that you're all doing that. This is outdated and not culturally responsive or relevant. So that's a good move. Either one, as people shared, I'd be happy with. But looking at 2019, moving forward, looking at aesthetics, looking at where we're going, just visually as a catch-all, my eyes goes to the top without any real symbolism, narrative having to follow. If I saw that somewhere, I'd take a double, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. So as a graphic, I like the top. If you break it apart and you want to have symbolism, you could go a lot of different contemporary to historical. We all have origin stories. Butterfly is not really in a Navajo origin, but the feathers are. So I think it's more eclectic and contemporary in its concept. And the concept of the feather is symbolic to strength and fortitude. In the transformational, I think it fits with the Elevate strategic plan symbolically as a graphic. I don't think either one you can go into any detail like this had a narrative. The bottom is very academic and Western in design. If the bottom was to be kept, maybe the color graphics could have a black border and have the appropriate colors, because the medicine wheel is a Northern Plains symbol. And the medicine wheel usually is after you fought a hard war and you've come back and you try to regain balance. So it's a constant reminder of the turmoil. So that's part of what you want to capture, but it's Northern Plains, not Southern. So if we did Southern, it'd be white, blue, yellow, black, maybe with a black border around. If you do the the feather in the book. But I agree the graphics as far as the font should be the same size because it's Gallup McKinley County Schools, not Gallup McKinley County Schools, you know. maybe centered. So Gallup McKinley and County Schools, if it's the same font, then you won't need to center it.
Right.
But those are kind of just graphic points and my take on the symbolism. But I like the top because it's fresh.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Anybody else?
That's what happens when you come into the boardroom all of a sudden, you get called on the spot.
Good afternoon, Board. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for being open-minded enough to make a change, because I think as we move forward, it'll be wonderful. The art on that butterfly is awesome, but I don't know that top one, to me, says education. I agree with the fonts being equal size, and I agree with the color wheel statement about it being the colors that are of our cultures here in the Southwest. The white might be real hard to signify there. I really like the feather, though, because that center vein in the feather points right to the book, and it's like, we're here about education. This is what that's about. So, yeah, the top one is it's very modernistic in marketing. It would look cool, but I think my choice would probably be the bottom with the change of the color wheel. But yeah, they're pretty nice. Good job for Sandy Hill, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Sandy Hill did this. So that's it would be easy to work with, I think, color-wise, the bottom one. We could blend a lot of things in our marketing ads and things like that. But to come up with a butterfly with feathers, that's ingenious. But the artwork there is great. The symbolism for education and who we serves best, I believe, on the bottom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Bart, you got an opinion? Okay.
No, thanks.
He likes the bottom one.
Okay. All right, gentlemen of the board, how do we want to handle this? We need to, I guess, vote on each one, or do we want to just pick one to vote on? What's the best course of action here?
I'd like to make a motion
Sure.
that we go with the logo, the feather, and the book with the change of the colors of the wheel.
You may not be able to do that. I just want to be really clear. If you stick white in there, it's going to mess up the design of the logo and do different things like that. So I don't know if these colors are a part of a medicine wheel. They're colors. The colors aren't the medicine wheel. The colors are representative of diversity. So I want to be really careful. We will be starting over.
Okay. Well,
It signifies diversity in both the top and the bottom of different. The colors aren't cultural colors. They represent diversity of our area and our students' demographics.
Okay, but
If you went to put white instead of it wouldn't show up.
We're gonna, yeah.
unless you would outline
And
it.
the black is the same thing. Like we talked about black. They did make the dark blue darker. They couldn't go black because artistically it really changes the feel of the logo and draws your eyes more to the black than the other colors. And,
Yeah, I can see that.
see what I'm saying? So it all,
Okay, well, let's make the motion to go with the logo with the book and feather.
The way it is, as it stands? Okay. Motion's been made, second? Okay, second. Mr.
Roll call.
Hyatt, roll call, please.
sorry.
No problem.
I'm used to hearing roll call. I'm not saying roll call. Mr. Mortensen, sorry, Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mrs. Manuelito, Mr. Schaaf,
Yes.
and Mr. Mortensen.
Yes, I like it too. Great.
Thank you.
So the motion carries. Great job, everyone. I appreciate the input. That was nice to go through that and get some differing opinions and stuff. And maybe there's a couple little tweaks and look at it, but in general, that's how it's going to be.
I would like to make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that motion. Mr. Hyatt, roll call, please.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Schaaf,
Yes.
and Mr. Mortensen.
Yes. It is 2:27. We're done.
Look at that.